Hello, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome everybody. I'm your new chairman, as you all know already. I have my name on the plate up here. I'm going to take a few minutes to kind of read. I made a statement, and I want to read it first because there have been some changes and will be some changes. And as we go, if other select board members can think of something else, we'll make another change. But first of all, I want to thank you all for voting me in as chairman, and I'm honored to serve you and this town. I want to introduce Jeff Dunkley, Mike Quartermarch, myself, Christian Howe, and our new newbie, Emily Vergovi. Now, first, I want you to be sure that every time you come in, that you do sign in on that thing and print your name, as it's very hard for Katrina sometimes to read our names, especially to have a signature like mine. And then I want to start by explaining the new agenda. So let me get an agenda here. Everybody has an agenda?
They've all got packages, but we ran out of packages, so if you can share with your neighbor, that's great.
There's agendas up
and there
there.
are some extra agendas.
Right, there are some agendas up there, so if you can, bear with me, and we'll go through it slowly, and then after this, I promise I won't explain it again. Anyway, everybody has, or some of you have, agendas that have several documents that are attached to it. Those documents are pretty much the same documents that we have up here, because I want you to be able to shuffle papers right along with us and know what we're doing. Now, not always will you have the papers, because some of them will be, might be executive session, it might be personnel, it might be a contract or something like that, and we can't just give it to you arbitrarily. But I want you to be, it's going to work, I hope. I'm not going to make up 50 of them, so 10 of them about every meeting, and I'd ask you to share with your neighbor, your significant other. And then this is my way, or our way, of maybe trying to be a little bit more transparent of the papers that we're looking through. So if you are able to see what we look at, then you'll know what we're doing, and you can't, or you won't feel that we're trying to hide something. Now, the changes to the agenda is, as a chair, after the chairman's remarks, you'll see open public comments. This is a non-agenda line item. You will be able to, I'm going to give you 5 minutes, not each 5 minutes, but 5 minutes total to begin with. If it works and it seems to be going good, then by all means, we'll open it up if the board so chooses to maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes, depends on the agenda, I would suppose. During that time, you can talk about anything you would like, except for, I would appreciate no finger pointing, no name calling, and no calling anyone out on anything. If you have a complaint, I wish that you would put it in writing, sign your name, and hand it to me, and I will make sure that the board gets it. Everybody will get a copy of it. That's the open line item. I want you to ask me questions about this when I'm done, but my first night I'm a little bit nervous. If anything that you have that you feel that, or we feel that should be on the agenda for that night, you'll see the next item is additions to the agenda. And if it's something that we should talk about, we'll put it on tonight's agenda or that particular night's agenda with the approval of the board. Also, you'll see that on the Here's the additions to the agenda / approval with or without additions. That is because although I know Mike and I will be working on the agenda, but there'll be times that Mike wouldn't be able to come during the day when Katrina and I might be doing it or whatever, and that's fine. He'll put his input in another way. But I also want the full board to approve the agenda that I come up with before we even discuss anything. So that's new. That way, not just one person is doing, or two, is doing the agenda. And then the body of the agenda, everybody will be able to speak on the agenda items at that time. Please do not interrupt a select board member as we're talking and discussing this, shouting out from the chair or something like that, because that only does one thing, and that it disrupts what we're trying to, accomplish. However, I will not allow a motion to go forward without, if you have a question about it or whatever, we won't forget you. If time says, I gotta keep going, I will let you know that we wanna keep going. Because at the end of the agenda, as you'll see, I also put in, it says public comments here, but we're gonna change that tonight to public participation. Those are agenda items. So if I had to bypass you during the body of the agenda, you can write your question down or your suggestions or whatever and bring it up at this time. This is also 5 minutes and could go even farther. I'm not gonna kind of stick to 5 minutes. If we're running early, we'll have time to talk and discuss the things that you want to about the agenda. And then the next thing that I'm going to have put on here that I haven't even discussed with the board, but I was thinking in my mind, when it works, it really goes overtime, which isn't very often, but it does work overtime sometimes, is a spot toward the end or right after public participation called, I'm not sure yet, but next agenda items. In other words, if we're thinking about something that we want to put or talk about on the next agenda, we'll say it here and discuss it here so that we have a running record of what is to be on the next agenda and so on and so forth. Now, I want to thank you all for coming. I know this is only small steps, but I would like to bridge the gap that has come between the board and the people, and the employees and the elected officials. So, with that, let's get started. Okay, first thing on the agenda is open comments. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say? Please come up to the microphone. State your name.
Hi, Deb Barrier. Okay, I don't know if this is working. Okay, I have two things. One is, we wanted to ask the board from the library if we could possibly have a key to the case. Thank you, to the glass case, so that we can make sure our stuff is arranged correctly.
Mm-hmm. I got an email, or a copy of an email, or was told about an email, not sure which, but where something of the select boards got over top of the library, so the library's functions wasn't, so I was thinking, what about they have a one of their own, or the select board have one of their own, and the one upstairs be for the town clerk and for the library.
Can I just add a little bit of history here for the board members that weren't here?
Please do.
We're talking about the display case that's out on the outside of the building, and it was purchased because legally we have to post warnings in a public place, and we need them to be not tampered with in any way, shape, or form. And they were getting stuck to the windows of the door, the outside of the building, and they just weren't in a proper manner. So the select board purchased this glass case for the town clerk and for the board to post legal warnings, and for the auditors, any other legal meetings that needed to be.
Libraries.
Yeah, library ones that needed to be. But Susan and I did it with the understanding that if there was room, we'd put in other things like the fire department's dinner and presentations that the library was having. However, legal notices had precedent over any of that. So what happened was, legal notice of the organizational meeting got put over one of their presentation folders, because there was no room to put it in there, due to the town warning and some other legal notices that were in there. And so that made them very frustrated, because they advertise these programs, and they want people to be able to see them.
Would you like to discuss this further, and maybe we could put it to, addition to the agenda?
Yeah. Maybe we
Because I don't wanna take up their time to be
Fine.
able to ask questions
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Do you wanna add it to the agenda? Would you like to? Do you have I need a motion.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to add, the library's question on the, display case outside,
The key.
a key for it. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, we'll take that up.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I also, as a personal question, and that is, I'm wondering, when the board possibly takes up the discussion of town picnic, if we are gonna have a town picnic this year, if we could look at possibly, making a couple of changes, or if that's something some of us can be part of. in the plan.
Yes, I would imagine you could be. Why couldn't you be? Yes. We haven't discussed that yet. That probably won't come up for a while. We haven't got a committee yet. I know Josh Unruh has run it for a couple of years, but we haven't
And that's
discussed
been
that yet.
great. I'm just remembering how it was when it was a potluck before, and it was a true town picnic in that sense, and maybe with our renewed sense of electronic connectedness, with the newsletter and with the other things, we could think about doing.
Mhm. And that's something that we could probably put on the, upcoming agenda for probably, what would you say, Jeff? May or June?
Put them on the
Closer to the
committee.
date, yeah.
Are you interested in serving on the committee?
Yes, she said she was.
Is that what I'm hearing?
That's what I was hearing.
Sure.
Because the appointments for those are
Sure.
coming up. Okay.
So you think May or June? Jeff?
May.
May?
Better, yeah.
Yeah.
A little earlier than last minute.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding. May.
Okay.
Yes?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Phyllis? Yeah, it does to him, so that people out
Yeah, it's going directly to him.
Yeah, I apologize for pulling out in front of you the other day. I thought I looked. I must not have.
Turn it around, me.
Yeah, turn around.
Okay. I originally wanted to come and ask to be put as an addition to the agenda. But for tonight, I just wanna make a public comment that the auditors would like to communicate with the select board at the next meeting. Unless you have one before that for some reason, another special meeting, on how to transition our records that we have. We've got file cabinets worth of auditor records. We're not sure what we should do with them. I have been in contact with the Secretary of State to see what retention laws we have, so if we can, get rid of some stuff. And then, how we should close out the office,
Okay,
okay?
yep, that sounds great. Thank you. Anybody else? Peggy?
This probably ties in maybe a little with what Deb was talking about committee appointments.
Mhm.
And I saw that you were assigning some appointments tonight. I didn't know if you were doing all of the committees.
No, this is appointments we have to do every year for our road commissioner, for the rec department, and this fire chief.
Fire chief, okay. Well, there are quite a few people in the community that are interested in serving on committees.
Wow, that's a welcome thought.
And I have a list of those that we kind of put together So, do you
What do
have
you
any idea
suggest?
when he'll be
Should we just give
doing
them
his
to, Katrina?
reorganizational?
Why don't you leave us the list and Katrina can distribute it to the rest of the board, and she may even be able to start the initial contact for contacting these people
Yeah.
prior to us making the announcement that we're.
Yep,
Great, thank you.
thank you very much. All right, I'm gonna take you, but I said 5 minutes, but come, Nancy,
Well, I
please.
just wanted to ask if I could add something to the agenda to talk about the 2015 town meeting warning. I want to share some information and discuss it, please.
It's up to the board.
Finally.
Fine with you? Yep. I need a motion.
Make a motion to allow Nancy to make an addition to the agenda about the warning of the 2015 town meeting.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? No? It's been, moved that we, add Nancy Gassett to the, agenda. We didn't before, but I think the library and Nancy probably, should go under new business. Both of them are kind of a new thing, so let's put them under new business. And to discuss the, and that was in the middle of a motion, but, to discuss the, warning for the 2015 town meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it. So added. All right. All right, now, we have additions, we have 2 additions to the agenda, which we've already moved on. And now, what I would like to ask for is, I do have a couple of additions here that it's to do with Sandry and at the fire station. Now, is this the new heating?
It's a boiler.
The boiler, yes. So we have that, and then I have something as, the new EMD as well, that I have to do a quarterly report, a checklist of things that I have done in those 3 months. And, which I've done, but it says that the select board chair has to sign it, and I prefer that, the, vice chair sign it if it's okay with the select board. So I would like to add those 2 things to the, agenda, and I would entertain a motion if somebody would do that for me. You might, go ahead.
I move that we introduce the fire department burner as well as the emergency management director quarterly report to the agenda.
It
Second.
probably would be new business, right, as well? Okay.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, then, all those in favor of the motion to add these 2 to the agenda?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. It is added. Okay, thank you. All right. I had asked the town clerk to come in because I just wanted her to come in and kind of break the ice with the new board and kind of tell us what her office does and everything, but she is not feeling well today. And, so she didn't come, but, she did give me a request for, I think it's 3 days she'll be gone.
3.5.
3.5? Oh, yes, 3.5 days. The state will pay her mileage to and from, so on and so forth. We're going to pay for the, motel for, I think it was June 1 through the 3rd, and a half a day on the 4th. And I don't see a price on here, but
Additionally, that attendance to one of these trainings is mandatory, as it
Yes,
states in the letter.
yeah, oh, you got a letter?
Yeah.
It's right
Did
there,
everybody?
to your
Oh,
package.
good. Then, what's your pleasure, everybody? I think this is one of the mandatory ones, isn't it?
It's for the
Yes.
new statewide voter checklist program that they're, putting in place, and so she has to have mandatory training.
So what's the pleasure of the board?
I move that we allow the town clerk to attend this mandatory training of the new voter checklist system, as well as cover the expenses that we've just listed here.
Second again.
Sorry.
Okay, any discussion? Motion's been made and seconded to allow our town clerk to go to this training. It's a mandatory training, and all expenses paid that are required. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It's passed.
We can't hear you back here at all because of your working.
Well, Katrina, would you put a thing on the door and then just
Yeah.
kind of close the door up a bit? Make sure that people know it's open and they can come in. Listers are, only one is here. Oh, no, there they are. There's three of them. Can you come up? I've asked the listers to come to just kind of, because of Emily being new, that I just wanted you all to come and talk about your jobs, upcoming things, and we'll make it real short so we don't go on forever, but, and I know there's a reappraisal coming up, did you say, in 2-3 years, or something like that? Is that about the time, did you say?
Probably.
Yeah, and maybe you could explain to her what a reappraisal is.
Okay.
Slightly.
Right, select board. As the listers, we keep track of the sales, so we know where we're at, and we also have to fill out forms that lets us know where we are as far as sales and where we're at. And in the past, property has always gone up in value. But because of the recession, or whatever you wanna call it, properties have decreased a little. But in our town, due to a meeting that I went to with Valor, when we did ours, we had lowered the points a little, which the state weren't too happy with, but we lowered the points so that we're not hurting as bad as a lot of towns. But we're at the point where we gotta be thinking about doing a reappraisal. So what our plans were that I had discussed with the select board before is, once we get some kind of an agreement with VY, so we know where we're at, then I would like to see us do a townwide reappraisal. And I had a couple of charts here. I just wanted to kinda let people realize the blue is the school budget. So no matter what we can do in the town, we're not gonna do much. And then I have one on the utilities, which is the big chunk. If I can find what I did with that.
Oh, that's awesome to see it like that.
It's scary when you
It is.
see that one, yeah. My wife has done, or the listers have done one every year, usually to get handed out at, or usually they're in here. I know it's here. One on utilities, because that's the big part. But I wanted you to see where we're at. Okay, there's the utilities. And you all know what the big one is. And that's one is where the select board is in negotiating for a drop down in the value of Entergy, which is gonna be a big hit each year on the town. Bearing that in mind, it really only affects the red part, not the blue part. Mostly, I mean, it affects everybody, but it's scary. So, as far as the sales go, we're running at about 115 to 120%. which means we are running, if we're up to, the schools I've gone to, anywhere from 10 to 15%, we're figured okay. So we're, this year, the last sales analysis, where some of the sales are running a little more. Which means we need to do a townwide reappraisal, but we can't do one with Yankee in the air. We've gotta get that settled first. So basically what the listers do is we, make sure that every house is appraised at fair market value, which was done in 2008. And I got a list here, but pretty much I can tell you what they are.
The last appraisal was 2008.
Yes, yes. Which means in 2008, we made a yardstick for values of a house. And that yardstick is the same yardstick we use if you build a house today. That yardstick, we don't add to it, because we have two criteria, fair market value and equity, that everybody's treated the same. So if you built a new house, we use the yardstick that was created in 2008 from the sales that were accumulated for us to formulate the yardstick, is what we use in coming up with a value on future houses. So when we do a reappraisal, we do an analysis of all the sales, and we build a new yardstick with assistance from the state if we need it. And with that new yardstick, then we reevaluate everybody's house and all the properties. And we have to do them all. And right now, the big thing that was kind of holding us up, what we've been waiting on, we've been talking about doing this as a board for a couple of 3 years, is VY. So, any questions?
How many houses are up for sale right now?
15.
And that includes foreclosures.
15?
Yeah.
That's down from, I did a count a little while ago and it was at
Yep.
30.
Yep.
Wow.
But back in the heyday, I can remember when we had 60 houses for sale, back when we were doing good, and VY was paying 85% of our taxes.
To rush into doing a reappraisal right now, we feel would be premature, because the values have come down. And we are lower than what fair market value is, but when you do that, you're just lowering the entire grand list. And so you're just having to make up what the people have to pay in taxes, your tax rate has to go up. So it's, it's a lot of money to do a townwide reappraisal, and you're not really gonna benefit from it. Your tax rate's just gonna go up. You might, people that buy a new house, to them, come in and, question why we have their house in at 220 when they maybe only paid 195. We shouldn't, and again, BCA shouldn't either, lower it just because they paid 195, because then that doesn't keep the town equitable.
It creates
We really
connect-
need to keep
Yeah.
everybody at 2008 value until we do it townwide.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense, because when we're in negotiations with the stabilization agreement. We're only in it for a year right now, but eventually we're gonna go in a long term, so you kind of have to know what that agreement
Plan.
is for you to be able to do that. Am I correct? Does that kind of figure into it?
Plus, we still have one court case.
Right. Jeff, did you have any questions? Emily?
No.
I thank you for coming, and forgive me, I would like to introduce, Bill Hammond, Phyllis Newton, and Carol Hammond. These are your listers, great people. Thank you for the job that you do. Just a minute, I have a couple people that would like to ask a question.
I have a quick question. You said there's 15 houses on the market right now?
Speak up, Mario, so we can hear you, hon.
Yes.
Oh, there's 15 houses on the market
Correct.
right now, and I think Mike said there were 30. Now,
A little while ago.
Whole property. Some of them.
Some are being some get put on and taken off.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
There was
I
another,
actually have the list right here with pictures of the ones that we have.
Dale, had a question?
Yep. What's the cost of a reappraisal gonna cost the town?
That's a good question.
It'll be close to $250,000.
Now, are we gonna have to do a special appropriation for that, or is there something in the?
Well, we have a fund already, and I don't, oh, I do have,
I got it, yeah.
you do?
Well, I do, but I have, you probably. find it
Yeah,
quicker.
I know, it's me too. It takes me a minute to look, because I always have junk in the way. Yeah, let's see if I have it in here. And it's kind of a hard one to see because it's like small. I don't have it. Elderly, I don't have, I can't find it. You know what I'd like to next year for, town report is that it was in the contents of where you could find it, on what page? That would be easy.
Page 12.
Oh,
As of-
God bless you, thank
As
you.
of June, we had 169,987. And the state always gives us,
Thank you, Phyllis.
$2 a parcel?
$8.50.
Eight, and we keep
$8.50
two.
a parcel, it's gone up. It used to be $6.
It's $8.50
Oh, there it is. I
and
never see it
$1
because of
for
the special funds is what it's called.
So we usually get about 8,000 every year that comes in from the state for the number of parcels we have in town. And then, of course, we voted at town meeting for the appropriation
for $50,000.
for
The
50,000.
50,000,
Mhm.
yes.
We've got
No,
50,000 this
I'm
year.
sorry, 20,000.
20,000.
Which is added to that.
It's added to
Will
that.
be added in July.
Yes.
And the average cost of hiring it done is $100 and up per parcel. So the state has raised it, so they're giving us $8.50 a parcel. They help. Make it good.
Dale, did you have another question? Vince?
I was wondering how much do we bring in on the residential properties, not counting any of the businesses?
I couldn't give you that without looking it up, but I would like to reiterate or to say that houses is what costs money. If a house is paying $3,000 in taxes and they've got 2 or 3 children, the cost of the town is $20,000. And that's why farmland is a good investment. Less people into schools and businesses, and that's why, any town want to encourage outside businesses. And the less development, I'm not saying I'm against development, but the more houses you have, when you take a piece and plant 8 houses on it, those 8 houses are gonna have families with children, and that's what's gonna really raise the taxes, as you saw in the chart, in the schools.
My question is, how much will we actually make after you pay the $250,000 for the appraisal?
I don't think
Oh,
we'll
you-
make much at all.
Make much at all.
You know,
It
the
has-
utilities will have to be hired out by a professional at the last time in 2008, the internal listers did the reappraisal for the residential, and then we had, commercial appraiser for the utilities and for the commercial properties. But it's not really, you don't gain money, especially if the grand list doesn't go up. If the grand list goes down, it's a losing.
The reason you do a reappraisal is, the law is fair market value, but because the cost of doing a reappraisal is so high, the second requirement is equity. So the state works with us, and we have charts to fill out with the sales, and when we fall below a certain amount in our equity or in fair market value, as long as our equity is good, we're good. The state penalizes the town if we fall below a certain, but that isn't the problem right now. Money-wise, they withhold money from the town. So right now, we're okay in that area. Our biggest concern is that we are at 115 to 120%. So we're like 15 to 18% value on your house than what you could sell it for. See, so, but as long as everybody's at the same, we have equity. So what's gonna require us to do that is, if the sales continue to drop, and I've got the charts right here, they've dropped a little every year for the last 4 years. So if the housing market would pick up, sales would go back up, and we can keep our equity, then we really would need to do a reappraisal.
So wouldn't it make sense to wait as long as we possibly can?
That's what I
Yes.
usually do. Yeah.
But it seems like 3 or 4 years ago, that's, that's pretty often, isn't it?
No, we've been averaging 10, 12 years for a reappraisal in our town, but, it depends on the market. I can remember a few years ago, I think it was Brattleboro, they had to do one in 3 years. And when we did ours in 2008, we actually, going to Valor and listening to, what's happening, we realized that we could hear some towns who kept it right there in 2008. We used our percentage rate to make us a whisker lower, and that's what's been protecting us right now.
Previous to that, it was 99, and before that, it was 87. So it's usually at least 10 years.
So how long has it been since the last one you did?
2008, so 7 years.
We're saying right now, depending on how things go, how many people come in and complain, and where we can stay. If the market can come up just a little bit, then we're good for 3 years, 4 years, It depends on the market and the sales. That's the driving, and then the state, they're looking at that too, with us, and that determines where we're at.
Thank you so much for coming in and explaining that. I just want everybody to know that I'm gonna try to get each department in here, every time we meet, 1 or 2, so that we can all learn what they do. So, thank you very, very much for coming. Okay, next on the list is recycling.
All right,
Mike?
I asked to have some of the board's time because of some issues that are happening with the way we do things with Guilford and a request from Guilford. So, I don't think you guys are really aware of the inner workings of how the bags get distributed to Guilford. Basically, it's done by a volunteer. Guilford is currently our second busiest spot behind the town clerk. They've sold approximately $12,000 worth of bags. It's probably closer to $14,000 now because these figures are a little old. Cindy wasn't able to update me today, so I'm just using the last stuff she produced. But anyway, they call when they run out of bags. And I come to the town office and I pick up bags and I deliver them to Guilford, and then I pick up the cash, and it is cash. And then I bring it back to the town clerk, sometimes depending upon the hours. They're not open.
Should maybe have a police escort or something.
Well, no, I think,
I would be afraid I'd be going to Tahiti or something.
I'm really interested in what the outside auditing firm thinks of this. But B, this is gonna lead into the second segue. Guilford agreed to sell the bags because they hoped it would bring a lot of traffic into their store, and they'd be able to sell their products, obviously. It has brought a ton of traffic into
Obviously.
their store, but unfortunately, all that traffic is purchasing is the bags. So it didn't work out that well for them, but.
Do they
I bought
get
a
a
candy bar the last time I was in there.
Did they get a percentage at all?
No, and that's what they're asking for.
I
So
wonder why couldn't we
we
come
can.
up with something like that?
Basically, within the district, this is going statewide now, so a number of little stores like Guilford are selling bags for other municipalities. And the going rate that's being tossed around essentially is a nickel a bag. and they come in packages of 5, so it'd be a quarter a bundle. There's 50 packages in a case, which works out to about $12.50 a case. Now, they're going through probably 3 to 4 cases a month. So, if we're gonna start to reciprocate, then it would only make more sense that the paid employees now have a firmer relationship, and when Guilford needs bags, they call the treasurer, she can set their account up with them, she can then, I don't know, set up a system to give them their check for that case, or what have you, but there's gotta be a much cleaner way of doing this with paid bonded employees
Absolutely.
than with a volunteer.
Mhm. I agree. Want me to do it for you?
What's the board's pleasure?
What is the board's pleasure? You got some ideas on that, Jeff?
Well, what do you want? You want them to get a slight profit for
Oh,
the
I have,
service?
yeah, I have no problem with them picking up that $12.50, because that's,
Yeah.
within the Waste Management District, that's the number that's being floated around to other towns. Jamaica has offered all the stores, they're the ones closest to this right now, and they've offered their stores that nickel a bag.
Yeah, I think it's
fee.
reasonable, particularly if they didn't feel that they made increased sales. I'm sure that was probably part of why they were doing it at cost.
Exactly.
Um,
And it is a lot of overhead.
Yeah.
Every time I go in there with bags, there's like people waiting for bags.
Wow.
You see, there he is.
Emily, yes, Emily?
I had a couple of questions. So where are bags available right now?
Right now, you can purchase bags at Guilford, you can get them from the town clerk, you can get them from the treasurer, you can get them from the library. In the summertime, we have them at the rec department as well.
I think there's some at the rec office, the one that's located in the school as well.
They haven't made any deposits in an awful long
I-
time, so if that's the case.
I think that's because they haven't, nobody's come to buy any.
Nobody knows it's
Well,
there, probably.
What
Well-
I'm wondering, it's a very small amount, but I'm wondering, do we just need to let the townspeople know where? Is it because of the hours, because they're open later? And so when people are, getting out of work and driving home, they're stopping.
It's on the
Well, it would-
way.
Yeah, it would
It's
be
on the
nice
way.
that people knew that, because they could, after hours, they could stop over there to the office at the school, because
Well,
it is after hours, and,
But I think
but-
the issue with the school is they don't want a lot of traffic in
Right.
there.
Yeah,
well,
you
they can
know.
go off to the side, see, during the day, you can't get in there anyway, because it's locked up, tighter than
She
Fort
wouldn't want
Knox.
them around the after school.
But after school, you can get into that side door, and it's right, right into their office, but maybe we don't wanna have them sell it there at all.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
think, that's a subject we have to broach with the rec department and
so
with the
too.
school board. but-
Yeah.
But for
Yeah.
the time being, I'm just trying to come up with a more concrete, auditor-friendly way of getting bags to Guilford,
Mm-hmm.
getting Guilford, some cash for doing this, because it is a lot of overhead, and it's not a lot of cash that, a nickel a bag isn't.
There was a question in the audience. Go ahead, Mario?
I'm willing to help with the distribution of the bags. if you
Oh, I thought you were meant
need.
collecting the money.
Oh,
Kidding.
I could be in
Yeah,
it
I'm
too.
kidding. We're gonna keep your name down.
No, seriously, I'm
Well-
willing to help with,
That's great, I'm just concerned at what the auditors are gonna say about it.
Yeah, we need
because
to
this is-
tighten up a little bit and
This is a
figure this
big
one out
inventory
first.
product that,
Yep. Phyllis?
That would be a big concern. The audit, the outside audit that was done, or that's still being in the process of being done, will not have even looked at the pay-as-you-throw, because that just began July 1st.
Right.
And they were, hired to do 13-14, ending June 30th, 2014. So the pay-as-you-throw as of July 1, 2014, has not been audited. It is a big concern, because most people come in with $50 bills and say, it's mostly cash.
Yep.
And I haven't seen any set, system. The town clerk,
That is-
she does hers and she turns it over to the treasurer, but the treasurer doesn't, ask for the same accounting, like, say, when you bring it in from Guilford.
what I do, just to cover myself, and I don't wanna get into a long story, but I sign a piece of paper that Guilford keeps indicating how much cash they've transferred to me. They give me a copy that I have them sign indicating how much money they've given me. I bring it to the treasurer sees the numbers on the envelope, she matches that with the receipt that she gives me. So there's 3 pieces of paper with a date on it that all must say that same amount. But still, it's.
What about the library? What does the library do? Do they do the same, as the town clerk? Pull it over and, who are you pointing to? I can't see anybody.
Jean.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, Jean, you're right there. You blended in well.
When it started, there was, we kind of made our own system because we felt we had to be accountable. So we tally as we sell the bags, because the boxes just kind of kept coming.
Yeah, do
And
they
I-
go to the treasurer, does all that money go to the treasurer as, just like the town clerk? It does.
Yeah, makes a deposit, and there's paperwork that goes with that.
Yeah.
And pretty much Kevin is the one who holds the key to the boxes.
He,
Yeah.
a box just comes in. Now, very recently, they have started, Cindy wants a count,
Oh.
which has only been within the last couple of months. So we're evolving.
New changes
We're
coming our
evolving
way. Yeah.
to having a better track of what's going
Yeah.
on, so.
Yeah, good,
That's kind of what we've done.
Mhm.
Been pretty
Great.
loose.
Yep. Ron, I think you were next.
The accounting system was one question I had, how's that working, but I guess it's evolving. And I have a comment. If the Guilford store can get a nickel a bag, why can't the library? We're establishing a gift fund, so I mean, let's face it, that's it, and I'm serious.
Now, I don't know, I would say, it sounds great, but, it's taxpayers' money, I don't
I mean,
know.
it's, this Guilford store is a private business.
Yeah.
And the
Cause I mean,
library
I
is
think
free.
then everybody would wanna, I'm selling them, the town clerk and the town treasurer would want something too. I think we get into being silly, I'm sorry. Vince?
I'm confused as to why are we involved with bags with Guilford?
No, they sell our bags for us.
But why?
Because we don't have any place in town that can sell them. With the loss of the store,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't have, the hours that we keep them here are not conducive. They're either at work when we're open
Okay.
here, or they're on their way home. So it's just easier to stop in Guilford and pick up your package of bags. Same with the rec department. In the summer, they sold a lot of them because they're open till 9 o'clock at night. People could get their bags anytime.
But I don't know why they wouldn't just go to the waste district and get their bags.
Well,
The waste
Guilford's-
district doesn't, we have special bags, the green pay-as-you-throw
Right.
bags.
Right.
The waste district doesn't distribute those, the town bought those, and we store them here. And then the town offices distribute them, and Guilford has agreed to distribute them because, A, they thought they could draw more traffic to their store.
It's like Hinsdale,
Yeah,
Walmart sells.
Hinsdale, they sell them in Walmart at Hinsdale.
Yeah, Hinsdale, so. All right, gonna move on.
What are we
Okay.
gonna do?
I think that it's a good idea, but Jeff, you,
Essentially, we'll move for 5 cents a bag, Guilford store.
Yep.
$12.50 a case.
And then how are they gonna be distributed and the cash picked up?
Why can't it remain the same? You seem to have that locked down pretty good. I mean, as far as, your.
Because as a volunteer, it's taking up too much of my time,
Yeah, I get it. Maybe we could get another volunteer.
or maybe
I mean, or who? You go
a
ahead.
town employee, someone who's paid, someone who's
How about,
bonded.
well, let's see who's bonded, would be only Cindy and Sally are bonded.
When they do bank deposits or something?
I think we should ask them if they're willing to do that, because, I mean, I think that would be kind of putting an overload. How about, Kevin, we'd have to bond him though. I mean, I don't know,
I don't know
would you
what it takes
suggest?
to bond him.
It doesn't take anything, you call up the insurance company and you ask them to bond him for X amount of dollars. What do you, I mean, I don't know. you know,
No, I think that's a logical choice. He's
Because
the one that
he's-
goes and gets the bags
Right.
out of the,
Cause and besides that, he's, you know, he's freer during the day than Cindy would be,
Right.
or Sally, or, Susan for that matter, or anybody from the, you know, I think that would be the better thing.
Is this something we could come back to in 2 weeks after talking to Kevin or talking to
Yes, well, I wouldn't
Cindy
wanna
and
make a
Sally?
decision without asking them, right? Are you willing to ask them and
That's fine.
talk with them?
I've already floated it by Cindy, and she wasn't too,
Mhm. Well, we're gonna kind of exclude her, but we're gonna go to Kevin. Why don't you, if you're willing to, or I can ask him, I mean.
We'll discuss it with everyone and
Yeah.
come up with there, but for the time being, we'll make a motion to allow Guilford to receive a nickel a bag for sale, and we can start that.
Well, how about we just round it right off to $12.50 per case? And, then they, you know, cause that gives, okay, this case is done, town, you know, it's gonna give us $12.50, that way it's better than going, okay, I sold one, 5 cents, sold two, 5 cents, you know what I mean? Do I have a second on that motion? Is that a motion? Mike?
Yes.
Any more discussion? Any more discussion from the audience?
Because they do not want this running through their accounts.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense on the IRS side. Okay, motion's on the table. All those in favor, and it's to give Guilford $12.50 per case per bag. I mean, of the bags, case of the bags, Vernon's bag. It's already been seconded. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, well, we have, and I don't think we can do this because we don't have the old select board. We need Patty here to do this, because, but if you would like to come up and explain what happened, or, without mentioning any names? Not if you don't mention. Okay, well then, I'm gonna ask that we pass over this, or take it up our next meeting, and the reason why I say so is because we need Patty here. It was the old board that ratified this, I mean, that,
You're right, and I would ask though, if you on the next agenda, that it, if anything included, let's say, elderly assistance, my understanding was that once it included
Yes.
what it says, I thought we were doing away with elderly assistance.
yes,
Because all
that's
that
true.
stuff is confidential.
Okay.
Just say elderly assistance.
Okay, elderly assistance, and that would give you a chance to, for your board to meet and everything too, right? Okay. All right. So, why don't we do that, we'll put on the next agenda, okay? Because I just.
Yeah, I would abstain.
Yes, and with two abstentions, there's only two of us who wouldn't carry anything. So, so you would add that to the next agenda for us, Kat? Thank you. All right, now, the Cemetery Commission, as we all know, you do have a, thing in your packet on Cemetery Commissioner. Now, a commissioner is voted by the townspeople, and in speaking with the Secretary of State this morning, if I may explain a little bit of it, my question to that person was, can we appoint somebody until the next next town meeting? And he said you don't have to, as long as as the board receives a written resignation from Susan, who is now doing it, our town clerk, who does not want to do it any longer. And which is fine. We do not need a commissioner, we're not chartered, so even if we went to town meeting, it would do no good. But being that the town, select board at one time or another appointed her as our so-called commissioner to do the deeds, to do whatever, and it may have been 1930, I don't know when, you know. And there's no way of saying when the town clerk took over that responsibility. I can tell you this, I've been working for the town for nearly 40 years, and it's always been the town clerk that's done it, so if that helps you for a time frame. So what we can do is we can appoint somebody. And I know that Mary Lynn Sherlin has showed interest in doing that. She's been the chairman of the cemetery committee for as long as I remember. And we have a right to do that as according to the thing. But we have to receive a written resignation from the town clerk first to do that. And that's what I found out today. So I think that if we could wait just 2 more weeks, or actually it'd be 3 now, right? Our next meeting is until the 6th of April, so it'd be 3 weeks. Would you still be interested, Mary Lynn? Okay, and because I did write to our town clerk today, but she's not feeling well, so she didn't answer me before the meeting. And so I think that we wait and let her recoup, and I'll talk to her again and get her to give us it in writing, and then we can proceed from there. Okay?
I have a question.
Yeah, just a minute.
Can you explain the difference between what the duties are of a cemetery commissioner that you would appoint and the cemetery committee that exists?
We're not going to appoint a commissioner because we have no right to do so. That has to be voted on at town meeting. We would just put somebody in charge of doing the deeds and that sort of thing, and working closely with Susan, because we're gonna have to use her vault when she's available and stuff like that. So she's gonna be, I wanna talk to her about this, so that we just don't jump in and, say we're gonna do this or that. I wanna talk with her first and move forward like that. But we're not appointing a commissioner. We are not a chartered town. We cannot have commissioners. We have to have a town charter.
So what does the cemetery committee do and what does this appoint?
Okay, I'm sorry, you did ask that. Anybody else wanna speak? I mean, I don't have to speak all this, but a cemetery committee is overseer of the grounds keeping and that sort of thing. And, Marilyn?
That's what we oversee, the caretakers, the grounds, make sure that headstone repairs, whatever is within those cemeteries, make sure that the owners of the plots are maintaining them according to the rules, or try to make sure they maintain them according to the rules. Doesn't always succeed, but
But the cemetery committee doesn't sell plots.
no. We don't
No,
sell the plots, we
but
don't prepare the deeds, we
they,
don't do any of that.
now one person out of the cemetery committee would do that. I mean, Mary Lynn's the only one that has, come forward, which I very much appreciate. Any other question? I got Rita over here. You're next, Rita.
So anybody can sign up to be
On a,
chairperson on the committee and stuff?
yeah, what happens is, if the committees are down a person or 2 or 3,
Right.
then they come to this board and they tell us, well, we're down a person, and we'd like to, look for somebody, and then they bring their recommendation to us, and we put them on the committee.
I mean, I've lived in this town most of my life, it might be something that I'm interested in.
Then what you do is you go to the committees and go to the cemetery committee. If they need somebody, they certainly will let you know. And then they'll bring, if it's you, then they'll bring your name to us or whoever's. And then you all have a reorganization. It's just like a select board. Any committee, they have to do, a chairman, vice chairman, clerk, so on and so forth. It works the same way. Yep. Anybody else like to say anything?
Peggy,
Yep.
I guess I'm confused about going to like the head of the committee to let them know that you have an interest in being on a committee.
Yeah, well, you can let our secretary know too. I mean, they're the ones that know if they need anybody at any given time. I don't, unless they let us know.
How does a person know how many committee members are on a given
Oh,
committee?
there's always five. We've
Always
never
five.
oh, wait a minute, I think, wait a minute, the cemetery did increase
Up to seven.
to
We
seven.
don't have to, but we can have up to.
They can have up to seven.
The handout I gave you earlier also, there were 2 other people interested in being on the cemetery
Okay.
committee.
All
Yes,
right.
I have them here, and I added Rita's name.
Well, as I told you earlier, I plan on having department heads, but also committees too. So, I mean, that might be the time to find out where and what we need,
Yeah.
right? Okay, anything else? Moving on. Sorry, this is my first meeting. I'll get better after a while. Okay, bills and warrants, please. Have we all seen, here's the bills. And you have 2 we're gonna pull out, do you not?
I do,
May I show them to Jeff, please?
yes.
And this, the statute? Jeff, that's the statute. I've put a red X next to the one. So we thought that we'd pull those 2 out for right now, and maybe if it's the pleasure of the board, that Mike and I would, discuss this with our attorney when he gets back.
I agree with
He's
that.
on vacation, and I've just about destroyed his vacation.
He
I've
goes-
never met the missus, but I'm sure she doesn't like me much. Poor girl. Anyway, so. So what's your pleasure? You agree, Jeff?
Yeah, hold off and talk to Mr. Couton.
Oh, well, I'll need the bills, probably. Or should I get them send them up and get them from Cindy after? We we should, okay. And, if you would, in case I forget, let Cindy know that I have these 2.
I will,
Thank you. Two bills have come in that we have questioned. I'm not going to say who they are or what they are, but we have a question on these 2 bills. And if the board so chooses and makes a motion, Mike and I will go to the attorney together and find out whether we have to pay these or not. Okay?
So moved.
So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's been made to have Mike and I talk with the attorney when he gets back from vacation about these 2 bills and see what our obligations are. And so it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. So then we move on to you. Now, you have the bills? Yep. So your motion would be, I move that we pay, and then you say them as you go.
To read them.
Yep. And remember, this one is going to be minus those 2 bills, okay?
I do them individually?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's 18 SG. I move
make
that-
one motion for 18SG, 9S, and 10S, but you read the amounts individually.
All is one motion.
Yeah,
Right.
so,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, so I move that we pay the following warrants in their amounts. 18 SG in the amount of $126,857.89. 9S in the amount of $9,246.12. 10S in the amount of $8,149.14.
And to ratify.
And to ratify, 17 SG in the amount of $1,967,773.94. 7S in the amount of $8,856.17. and 8S in the amount of $8,158.61.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded to pay warrant 18SG in the amount of $126,857.89. Payroll 9S, $9,246.12. 10S, payroll $8,149.14. And to ratify 17SG, accounts payable in the amount of $1,967,773.94. 7S, payroll for $8,856.17. 8S, payroll $8,158.61. All in favor?
Aye.
It's been passed. Now, approval of minutes. Now, everybody was there for the approval of the minutes, for the minutes, so we can all approve them. Or not. And I didn't see any corrections that needed to be made when I read them.
I move we approve the minutes from March 3rd, 2015, the Select Board organizational meeting,
As written.
as written.
Second.
It's been, motion's been made to accept the Tuesday, March 3rd, organizational meeting, Select Board minutes, as written. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's passed. Okay, now, the police cruiser bids, ratify. Now, there's not enough here to do that as well. So, once again, but let me tell you, the if I may have a little bit of time, the bids came in, we put them out, we brought them back, we made mistakes, we put them back, and we made mistakes, and we kept going back and forth. But in any case, they finally went out. They were upstairs in the vault, and when we met, because it was a holiday, so we forgot to get have Susan come in and get the bids for us. So Janet and I went the next day and opened up the bids. And Peter Lord from Vernon bid the highest on the 2007 Dodge Charger in the amount of $2,100. And I personally went to the rest of the board's house and showed them this, and everyone agreed to go ahead and sell the Dodge Charger to Peter Lord from Scott Road in the amount of $2,100. And Kat, you did get a hold of him.
He's already been in and paid for the vehicle.
So done. Now, the other thing is we had asked for $18,000, I think was the minimum bid for the Interceptor. After all, that was brand new. We bought it in 2013, and it was a 2014 vehicle. And the highest bid we got on that was $10,120. There it is, $10,120. So, all the select board, with Janet and I included, decided that we're not gonna sell that for that. So, we're either gonna put it out, or as, everybody's got this? We received from Weathersfield, and I'm gonna let Katrina explain that to you, because she's been talking with them. But apparently, if he wanted it, then he didn't want it, then he did want it, then he didn't, now he does. If we can, it says in here that he would consider leasing it and so on and so forth, and I'm not sure I like that idea.
Okay, so
but
let me
go ahead.
back up,
Yeah,
let me back up a little bit. There also it should be noted that there was also another bid for the Dodge Charger, but it was
yes.
underbid. We
Yeah,
had
that
put a
was-
minimum bid of $2,000, and a bid came in for $1,268. So there were two bids received on the Dodge Charger. The Ford Interceptor, we have been in communication with Weathersfield since the beginning of putting the bids out. And they had been considering it. This last round of bids that we put out there, they sent an email that said that they would not be submitting a bid. However, they were putting an article on their town meeting warning to ask for authorization to borrow funds to purchase a new cruiser. And they also believe that they had some reserve funds on hand to possibly purchase the Taurus if the board could decide on an amount, an agreeable amount. Since then, I've talked to him, and again, they are stating pretty much the same kind of thing. They want to possibly lease the vehicle from the town. They possibly would be looking at purchasing it, but it wouldn't be anytime immediate. So sounds like their article passed for a new cruiser, and now they're not sure that they want to spend money on one that's already been out in service.
What would be the pleasure of the board? Maybe we put it back out. I do have, thank you, Karen. We do have the Tahoe that we did award a bid to this fellow named Dan Danes, Thunder Dan, I guess is.
Dan Danes, Thunder.
That's what they call him, Thunder Dan. And, but now he withdrew his bid / purchase, and he said now the most that he would pay is $8,000.
So he originally bid 15,000?
15,000 was his first bid.
Yeah, and he had asked to, we pretty much had stuff going along, and he had asked to hold off because he was gonna put in a bid for the Charger, and actually
He did.
he did,
$861.
Yeah, so there was 3 received, sorry, that's my correction. There was 3 bids received on the Charger, and his was under bid again. It was $861, so he wasn't awarded the Charger. When I notified him that he wasn't awarded the Charger, then I got an email back saying way too much time had passed since his original offer last fall. The value has dropped considerably since that offer. The vehicle's been sitting idle and not used for quite some time. Basically, nobody's looking for 4-wheel drive vehicles right now. So he, more than happy to purchase it, but not for 15,000. He now wants to purchase it for 8.
Of course he does. Okay, so what's the pleasure of the board? Put these two back out to bid, or?
Are there any different avenues we can put them out to bid on?
I don't know. We
got a couple questions.
Can I make a comment, Chris?
Yes, when we're done discussing it, I'll call on you, okay? Just give me a minute, all right? Okay, Bobby, I will call on you, I promise. I won't go by you. So go ahead, what was it?
I recall you saying you were gonna put it out on VLCT, maybe
We
some
did.
other spot. Is there any other avenues you could put it out on? Cause it doesn't seem to be drawing any attention.
I don't know. I think we put it in, did we put it in the Reformer? I don't think so.
We didn't put it in the
We
Reformer.
put it on VLCT, we put it on, our national TV station
Wait,
here.
the time we had,
And-
originally we had our website up, what was on our website as well. We don't have that up
Yeah,
any
we don't
longer.
have that up anymore, but, I don't know.
We put it out, Mark
Put it-
had put it out to several police departments
Yeah.
in the area as well, that had gone that way as well.
Or you could sell it to, Mr. Yosef Dabba for 10,000.
I mean, he's in Illinois,
He's in
so-
Illinois.
eBay, I don't know.
Yeah, true. Craigslist, we have Craigslist too. I don't know, but let me take a couple of, points from the audience.
Why don't you, it sounds like they want it different, so why don't you give them a counter offer for both of those vehicles? I think if you, maybe Weathersfield, if you gave them a counter offer for the Taurus,
No, yep, I'm sorry.
and then the other guy with the Tahoe, and then he may come back with another offer. You may have to do it a couple times, but it'll be a lot quicker than putting it
Put 'em
back
back
out
out
to
to
bid.
bid.
Yes, probably.
'Cause
Yeah,
it's not
that's a
doing
good
any
idea.
good sitting down.
Yeah, I like that idea. I like that a lot. Thank you for it. There was somebody else. Bruce?
Chris, on the Taurus, I know part of the problem with the bid on that is the fact that it's got a grant supplied light bar on it.
Right.
Why don't you take the light bar off and open it up to bid for Massachusetts and Vermont,
We
Vermont?
did, I think in the
did take that
original bid, or the request for bids, we had said that that would be removed. And
Yes,
we made
we
it
had to
really clear
remove
to
it.
every, if it wasn't a police department purchasing it, that we could transfer it to.
Mhm.
We can transfer it to another Vermont police department.
Right.
But we had said we would remove it for.
Okay, so
And
we'll
out of
just-
town, so we
Yeah,
did
was-
open it up
yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bruce. So we wanna do that? That sounds like a good, kinda good idea. What do you think, Emily? On or off of them? He first bid 15. Now let's just talk about the Tahoe first, okay? He originally put in a bid for $15,000. He's now,
Chris, could I make a suggestion?
Sure.
That maybe since Bobby does know vehicles
I was
and
gonna say,
everything,
it should be not be me.
turn this dickering over to him?
That's what was gonna be my
well,
suggestion too.
first of all, we gotta figure out if that's what we wanna do. I'm
Right.
trying to talk to the board about that right now, and good idea. Thank you, Mary Lynn. What do you think? We offered, he first put in a bid for 15,000. He's withdrawn that. He's offered 8.
The equipment's been
Um,
stripped off of it too.
If
What was
we-
the
if we-
minimum bid that we were looking for on the Tahoe, cause I don't see that.
I,
don't think we were initially.
yes, not initially,
Not
but we.
initially, but then we did.
We did, it was
Um,
12,000
Bobby,
something.
you were on the committee that, or the.
Excuse me.
That went down, right?
Katrina?
Yeah.
Excuse me. It was 12,000 something. So, what do you think? I think that,
The committee was the ones that placed the value on the vehicles. So I think we should leave it up to the committee if they're willing to do the negotiations based on the valuations they put on those cruisers. To get whatever is in the best interest of the town, as opposed to having them sit.
and the other one, Katrina, was, 18,000. And, yeah, and the, 2,000 was on the top. Thank you. So, that's not a good idea, right? Bobby? Katrina knows that.
Yeah, he asked, this guy asked a lot of questions about him, and we did, I did put him in touch with Mark and then asked him all my own questions and got it back with some answers for him. That was one of the questions. Values are really gonna go down, so it's really move on it.
I mean, yeah, that's awfully low, that 10,000 on the council. I mean, if we'd have cut it with, if we'd have come back with 10,000 on the top, because it did, like you said, 12,000. I don't know if you,
Okay, now up is the new proposal for, Select Board Rules of Procedures. I believe you all have a copy. Cap? Thank you. I didn't wanna say that.
No, you do.
The only thing different, well, it's a combination of an old one we had, one, Cat pulled off of, VLCT, and one her and I sat down and kind of came up with. Actually, she did most of it. But, all it does is add in the open public comment, and to put the public participation toward the end of the agenda. That's pretty much it, as far as changes goes. And this way, if we accept this, then it's gonna take a motion to change the agenda after this. I mean, as far as taking.
Change the procedure.
Procedure, yeah. Your pleasure.
Do you want us to sign something?
We need a motion to accept it.
Just talk about it.
Well, it does have a
Take it home,
signature.
read it, use it for a fire starter.
I move we adopt the new Vernon Select Board Rules of Procedure.
Second.
Any discussion on this motion? Rana?
I would like to suggest that whenever possible, the board follows what the school board does, which is have the executive session at the end, and, if possible, that's just a suggestion.
If it's at all possible, I had thought about that, and it's something that we haven't discussed yet.
Right.
But, sometimes it's not possible, because if it involves our attorney, we can't pay for him to sit here in the meeting all night, so. But, anything other than that, I don't see a problem with waiting until the end.
And then you could have like all your different things that you had at one time, if you had more than one, or, yeah. that
It's a
was
great
just-
suggestion. It's been coming forth for a long time. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? The ayes have it. It's been passed.
Could we sign it, please?
Yep.
Thank you.
So I'm assuming that there's no changes to this.
No?
So
Do you
then-
think so?
No. So then I would like to nominate
Roland D. Walker. I mean, actually, it's R. David Walker.
David Walker as road commissioner, Seth Dio as recreation director, and Todd Capon as fire chief.
Second.
Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none, we'll go farther. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Passed. I've been practicing this for over a week now. All those in favor? Then I'm like, oh boy, I know I gotta ask something else. What is it? I've been trying. It's still not coming out very smoothly, but it will, I promise. It's only been like 8 years since I've wanted this position, but you think I'd have learned anything by now?
Looks easy from the outside.
It is. It's easier on the outside looking in, for sure. Okay, and we have a couple of things that we've added to the agenda under the new business as well. And, let me get through this one, Todd, then I'm gonna ask you to come up, okay? This is, the EMD, responsibilities checklist. So, as you can see, under January, is the month, the day of all the things that I have to do. Some are ongoing, and it says ongoing. And I have to have it in before the end of this month, and being that we're not meeting again until then, is why I need, a signature. Now, I need a motion, because I'm not gonna be signing it. Normally the chair would sign it. I don't wanna sign something that I've done myself. So, I would ask that, a motion be made to allow Mike Quartermach sign this as vice chair.
I move that the vice chair sign this.
Quarterly report, please, by
Quarterly
all
report.
means, look at it too first. I need a second.
Second.
Discussion from the audience? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? I almost forgot it again. Motion carried. And thank you all. And what I have to do is I have to make sure the sirens work every month. That's why you hear it. Now, last month, I have to explain to you why you heard it for 3 minutes instead of the normal 1 minute. Because every month I am teaching all our people to operate the siren. And so Tiffany's turn was last month. So Tiffany gets there and she does everything perfectly, but we don't hear it. Normally you would hear Vermont Yankees siren going off. So I told her, shut it off and start again. So she shut it off and started again. Still we heard nothing. I said, try it one more time. So we shut it off and tried it again. Still heard nothing. So I shut it off and I tried it. Still we heard nothing. I get home, I had a private message from one of our group members, if you will, saying, Chris, I'm sorry I couldn't make it. I had to work late, but why was the sirens going off for 3 minutes? It was only supposed to go for 1. So, did you get it?
I have it here. I need to take a copy of it.
Okay. Can you do that before I leave, because I have to
Yeah.
get it to him tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is, Todd, do you want to come up? Yes, I'm sorry.
I got a call about the sirens,
You did?
wanting to know, every once in a while I get a call when they go off, asking me if I heard them go off.
Mhm. Would you be my call point next time?
Well, no, because I don't hear them.
Oh, you don't? You don't hear the Rex?
No,
Really? Wow.
no.
Well, that
I'm
person
so used to
lives
them.
way behind
The
you
lady-
and heard it.
I
The
certainly
lady
hear it.
says to
Yeah.
me, don't you live right by the, I said, yeah. And she says, you don't hear it go off? And I said, no,
Oh, my.
and I'm home.
Yep.
But if you're busy, I don't pay attention to it.
My. Yeah, I, see, normally you hear it, but so I just said, well, it's not going off. I told them, don't worry about it. I'll call Mark Gilmore and get it fixed. Well, come to find out, it was frozen. The Vermont Yankees was frozen, so it didn't go off. But anyway, come on up, Todd. I have to say, needless to say, I was very embarrassed, but what are you gonna do? Oh, by the way, I abstained on that.
I knew you did.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Todd, explain to us what's going on. We're finally gonna get a boiler?
Yeah.
Good.
I'll just give a brief history for Mike and Emily.
Okay, thank you.
The first RFP that was produced for the replacement of the fire department boiler was sent out to 8 different companies. We didn't receive any bids back on it, so we revised the RFP, sent it out to 5 or 6 different companies, and the only one that bid on it was AR Sandries from Greenfield. The first bid that they submitted was for $18,551.11, which was well, we only had $12,000 in the capital plan for it. So I spoke with the board and discussed with them revising it. What I did is I had them separate the new bays from the existing building. So that dropped it by $3,600, and the previous board had said that if you can't come up with the funding with that, to come back. So pretty much I'm 99.9% sure that the fire association is gonna pick up the $3,600. I'm just not 100% on the $2,955.11. So,
The select board has, in our budget, we have put in, under the select board's budget part, we've put in if I can find it,
The emergency.
emergency repairs and replacement. We put in 15,000 every year just for these kind of things, in case, something breaks down and we don't have no money for it, or they don't have money in their budgets or something like that, so that it can cover these kind of things. So the $2,955 is there. So if, whatever the pleasure is of the board. But I'm really thankful that your association's gonna kick in that $3,600. That's really nice.
so,
So, did you wanna see it?
No.
So what's the pleasure of the board? We let him go ahead and go and finally get this thing in here? He's only been trying to get it in there for a couple of years, maybe, at least 4.
I wanna say that the 12,000 came into play when Dave Andrews was fire chief, so 2010, 2011
Wow,
era.
yeah.
So,
Emily?
I'm happy to
You got any
make a
questions?
motion. Oh, no, I'm happy
I
to make a
mean-
motion, but I'm not entirely sure what the
Okay.
procedure is and what it is that I need to say, so.
Well, it would be to hire A.R. Sandry to put in the new boiler,
Boiler.
correct?
yes.
In the amount of $14,955.11, where $3,600 is coming from your
Association.
association, and $29.55 is coming from the,
Emergency.
yes, emergency repair replacement. Kat, you've got a puzzled look on your face.
I'm
Please
just-
tell me why you're doing that.
Sorry, I'm just adding up numbers. You said you had 12,000 in the capital plan?
Yep.
So if the association is putting in 36,
That should cover it.
it should
Oh,
cover
actually, it
it.
should cover
There
it.
shouldn't be any amount out of the reserve.
Or is it more
Well-
than this?
Is there more?
Well, there's
17?
12,000 in the capital.
Yeah.
And this bid proposals for $14,955. I had them do a different proposal.
Oh, that's what we're not seeing here, though.
Oh, so there's a
So
second.
the
separate
Yeah,
Separate
$3,600 is for-
3,600, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay, sorry.
That's the one
That
that's,
does-
okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, so. I mean,
Okay, so do we have a second on that?
Second.
Okay, so maybe a friendly amendment to that motion. We'll withdraw that that piece about the $3,600, because that is part of their association, not anything to do with us in the.
Doesn't have anything to do with that bill.
Yeah, okay?
I accept that.
All right. I have 2 questions. I think you were first. Go ahead.
We're talking about the Sandry proposal. Couple of questions. Who drew up the specs, to decide what was necessary for the boiler?
Probably our fire chief and our new captain. Congratulations, JJ.
Actually, it was Dave Andrews helped with this.
Oh, Dave Andrews. Oh.
All right, so the second question is, have we done a competitive bid? Did we solicit from, say, Fleming/Dead River?
We sent the same RFP to Dead River and all them other ones too. This is pretty much the only one that we got back.
Really?
Was the only one you got back.
Yeah, the only one. And the first time that we did with the RFP, it was done by Mike Ball, and there was just too much
Detail?
detail that, needed to be done, and that's
Gee,
pretty
that would
much.
surprise me. Gotta
So,
love him. Rhonda?
There's 3 words on this page that scare me. It says plus sales tax. What-
Yeah, we don't have sales tax. The town municipality doesn't pay sales tax.
Erase that.
Erase that.
Delete that.
We've just gave the amount of $14,955.11. He can't go any higher than that. Bronna, did you hear me?
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion's been made and seconded, to have A.R. Sandry, put the boiler in, for $14,955.11, $12,000 coming from the capital plan, and $2,955.11 from our, emergency repair replacement fund, line item, it's not a fund. All those all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? It's been passed.
You want to sign, this is the actual original, even though you guys say the original, it's a copy.
Yep. Here's your original.
I need a copy of that.
Here, I'll sign it again over here on this one.
Okay, thank you.
Please extend our congratulations to, JJ
I will.
on making captain.
I will.
And, please know that I'm gonna have you come in sometime and explain to the board what you all do down there, and know that we really appreciate, and I personally thank you very much. To me, you are heroes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, now, how many kudos did I make on that one?
Just let me go home.
All right, now it's public participation again. Now you make,
We added,
Go ahead.
library.
You added library.
oh, library, yes, thank you very much. I have my thing right here. Town picnic and library, did we,
No,
auditors.
the warning.
Let's do the,
The library.
Library first.
Warning.
yes. We'll do the warning after.
Deb, Barry left.
Yeah, this is for the display case out front there,
I guess.
and maybe figure out something that we could do to help you.
We did have a suggestion in
Yeah.
with the library. The last I had left it with the library is, I was gonna try to look for another case for them to be able to put their stuff in and other maybe events. That could be on the outside of the building like the other one is.
How much did the last one cost?
If I remember correctly, it was like $140 some odd dollars. I mean, I got it off of Amazon.
That's all?
Yeah, it's
It
not.
wasn't very expensive, to
That's
be
good.
honest. And that, possibly that expense could be split with the library.
Put it on the other side of the door so that.
Yeah, so there would be one case on one side and one on the other. But that
Well,
would.
if it's
keep
gonna
it-
be only for the library, is that what you want it to be, just for the library?
Yeah, that's what we discussed the other day, yeah. And it doesn't have to be that big, just half
Yeah,
that
just
size.
yeah.
Yep,
Then
so then it would be a lot
I-
less expensive.
I mean, why wouldn't it just all come out of your side and,
The endowment,
yeah.
gift fund.
Well, it doesn't matter where it comes from, I mean, but, because if it's gonna be just for you guys.
Well, I think when
we
Chris
don't
and I
think-
first discussed it, it wasn't
Yes.
just about it just being for the library, and that's why we talked about splitting it. We talked about the fire department being able to put some of stuff in there. and
Okay.
Well,
Making it as big
then
as
it
the
wouldn't
one was
be a
on,
little
no,
thing
it
like
would be as
this,
big
right?
as the one that was on the other side.
Oh, wow.
And then the fire department, really leaving the other one strictly for legal notices.
Yes,
And nothing
I
else.
think that's very important, I really, really do.
What if-
That's fine,
How much of the one that,
yeah.
how much do you utilize of the legal notice one?
We utilize it quite a
use it
bit,
all the
actually.
No, how much of it? The whole thing?
Not me, but Susan does, and then the listers do, or the Board of Civil Authority might, or the
School
Planning
board.
Commission. All of those, all the committees have to post in there. So,
well, then
No,
I
think that,
as long as, just a minute, Bobby, I see you and I will call on you, okay? As long as, you know, the other committees are going to, use it too as well, then I think that it should be split, for sure.
And the
I mean, if it was only
big-
gonna be for you guys, you know, then that's something different, you could get something smaller, but, if our people are allowed to use it as well, then I think that, why not?
Because I
Yeah.
think initially the point was not to take stuff all over the glass.
Yes,
Exactly,
because
that
it
was
was
the
bad,
And so
yeah.
there will be other activities in town that wanna post.
that's
And we did
good.
put a
Go
big
into the other side.
bulletin board on the inside, but that's really full. I
And you
mean,
can't see it,
and you
it's in
can't
the dark
see it, and
corner.
you've gotta
Right.
come into the building to go over
Yeah.
to that side, and
Yeah.
so when Chris and I talked about it, we had talked about getting another case and then just making that for town, you know, events.
Activities and, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cause I was thinking maybe just get one for the select board and let them have the.
That's what I was going at, but
Yeah.
if every department uses it, then no, we'll just
Cause
get another
then,
big
then
one.
you'd
Because the
have
posting
three up
was-
there, you'd have one for the town clerk, one for the library
You run out
and
of
for
space on
others,
that.
and then we'd have just the,
You run out of space on
town
that side of the
select board.
building.
How often does the select board use it? I mean, do we
We-
use it every,
We use it
week,
for
or every-
no, we use it for every meeting that we have, so
Mm-hmm.
when you're talking about budget meetings towards the fall,
Mhm.
you're using it pretty much
much every
on
day,
a
yeah.
weekly basis, yeah. And like I said, their posting requirements are the same for cemetery committee and the elderly assistants when they meet, and the historians, and the posting requirements are the same, so that they're all considered to be legal notices.
Why do we only have the cases on one side, not on the other side?
It's the handicapped accessible side,
Okay, duh.
that's the reason.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
That's fine, so, we don't mind sharing.
Yeah, I think
that would be a good idea.
so what do we do from here? Do we wanna go ahead and make a motion, and let them go ahead and get one? You want Kat to get it because she's,
I ordered the
Done it
last
before?
one, I'm just gonna go back in and pull where I ordered
see you,
it
Bobby.
from, and see if I can
go ahead,
get
Bob.
one from there.
At the schoolhouse grocery, there's still I believe it's a town-owned case.
It is.
that
Take it down.
go and get
Well, why
that.
can't we use that one? Is that still there?
I don't know, I thought that one was moved.
I think that one's been
I was
moved,
gonna say,
Bobby.
you moved one,
Yeah.
But there's
There's still
still
another
a
one there, I think.
three-place case down
Cause there's two now down to the post office.
there. Yes, that's where the other one came from.
huh, guess I didn't
I
know.
I thought both of them came from there. And the one out here is what we just
Bobby
bought.
went down into the,
Because I was
go ahead.
alone and I couldn't.
Okay.
The other
Well,
one's
then, if
fairly
that's the
big.
case, then we have one and we can
Bingo.
get, Dick's Lock Repair down here to get new
Keys for
lock
it.
and keys for it and everything, sure,
And move it,
and move it.
thank you.
That'd be the cheapest way to go.
There we go.
Save us all money.
There we go.
And
Yay.
isn't that what we're trying to do, save money? So that sounds good. So will you check in on that?
I
Or do
guess
you want me to
I
have
think it's a
Bobby do it?
fairly big one though, if I.
Do you want me to,
I'd have to go look at it and see.
Then you
I
want
don't know
me to
if
ask-
it will fit on the other side of the
Oh.
door. And by the time you call Dick's to get keys made up for it,
Wait, just a
you're
minute.
talking $150.
But the keys were the same, weren't they?
No.
Those were used from way back. They're probably all lost by now.
Yeah,
You know, I'm
yeah.
talking way back.
That's the reason we
Well,
never.
I remember I
it's-
used to put notices in there, and it was always the same key as the post office.
Yeah, but those been changed.
Those are not the same now, yeah. I don't know, I
Do you
can go
want me
down and
to
look at it, I can go look at it and see if it will, I mean, take measurements. and
Okay, then.
See if
do
it will
you-
fit.
You want us to get together with
Yeah.
Bobby and see if he would help you? Bobby, excuse me, would you be willing to help
Make sure that it will
Katrina?
fit up there.
Yeah.
And
where we
see if
want
it'll fit and
I'll
stuff?
steal it for you.
All
It's
right.
ours, it's not stealing.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kat.
Very good.
Thank you, Kat. All right, so Nancy, come on up. Oh, Peggy, I'm sorry.
I thought we were on to, public comments now.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, one more.
What happened is I forgot two that we had added, okay? Sorry. You can come right up to the table.
For your viewing pleasure.
I already have a copy, I think.
Guess what?
I'm gonna get another one?
Can you find it?
Well, knowing me, probably not. Yeah, I think I did print that out.
And I have more copies for anyone else who cares to.
Okay, if the, I'm gonna ask the board to make comments, but, I'm gonna make a comment first about this, okay? Yeah, go ahead. We're gonna take 5 minutes to read it, okay, Nancy?
Sure. I figured the best way to communicate was write it all out.
Well, I should have emailed it to you, all of you.
Well, actually, it's changed a little bit, Chris, so use a new one.
Oh, this is a new one? Oh. When did it change?
Well, I found out one more thing that was missing,
What was missing?
the school director position.
Yeah, but that's a ballot thing, that's not a, warning thing.
I'll explain it to you.
Okay. Is that wind?
I don't know.
Did you hear that? Oh. Well, I'm gonna start, okay? Because, I did talk with the Secretary of State, and I also called him this morning. And our attorney advises that we have not done anything wrong. It was posted, and it wasn't on the weekend, of the January 31st. It was on the Friday, and I don't know the date, 28th or 29th, anyway. I think the 29th. It had 5 select board signatures and 3 school board signatures. The date was, however, wrong. It said the 3rd and the 4th, and it should have been the 2nd and the 3rd. But with all that being said, and I know that sounds like, I'm starting off attacking, and I certainly don't mean to do that. I don't want to start off like that. As I was telling Mike earlier, I feel that it would behoove us to set up a special meeting and validate what went on. Not because I feel that the board or our secretary did anything wrong. I don't. Because I did go through the Secretary of State, we went through the attorney, and they said as long as we had it up on the 29th, it did not need to go through the town clerk first. We could have had it posted recorded afterwards. But it is up, the warning is up to the select board to post that warning. That being said, it's up to the rest of the board. So, what's your pleasure? Jeff,
Can
you
I
want?
can I speak?
You know what, I think why don't you explain what you said you had something new. Yes,
The
please.
only reason why I'm bringing this instead of Susan is because I told her I would take this on, because it was kind of detail-oriented, complicated, she had so much on her plate, and
That's fine.
she is the one that would validate these things that I've said,
Mhm.
okay? And if you need her to, feel free to talk to her, because she
I don't,
did this, no, I'm just saying, because it's
Yeah.
the town clerk thing. It was supposed to be filed and recorded with her, so she is the one that.
Yes, I know, but the Secretary of State said it didn't have to be before it was posted because she wasn't in the office that day. But it's and that isn't to say that she did anything wrong at all. I don't mean that at all. But I don't feel that the board did anything wrong either.
Okay, well, I'm not here to point fingers at anybody. I'm just here to see that we follow the law as a town.
Absolutely.
And that if we have done something that
Even
makes our
questions.
town meeting not valid, I want to see it valid. And so this came to my attention as I was helping her make her report. And I have a conscience that when I find something, I have to follow it through. So,
You know what? I wouldn't doubt that one bit with you, Nancy.
so can I just say, not to oppose you, but can I just tell you that the
Please.
law specifically says, the original warning for each municipal meeting shall be signed by a majority of the legislative body and shall be filed with the clerk and recorded before being posted. It says explicitly in the law.
Okay, but that's subsection 2464 or something like
2644.
44. Right, now if you go to 2641, what does that say?
But they're supposed to be taken all in context together.
Yes, I realize that, but you know, we were going down too,
Okay.
and that's,
And I understand it was an oversight.
Yes.
Like I say, I'm not here to,
Not a
blame or
problem.
point fingers. I'm just here to say this is
Well, we
why
gotta
I'm
move
bringing
on,
it.
so
That's why
that's-
I'm bringing it to your attention so
absolutely.
we can make it right. That's
yes, let's
the
go.
idea of it. So if you read the whole law about the warning and the notice contents, it goes on and it's in context. It tells you to do something and then it says, in addition, do this, in addition, do this, in addition, do this. So you could very easily misunderstand that you're only supposed to do one part of it. But it's definitely supposed to be filed and recorded by the town clerk before it's posted. You could post it as a select board person, but she has to have the original filed
But
and
this-
recorded.
This isn't the full 2641 either, because the full 2641 states that the legislative body
Here's a
shall-
copy of all the laws if you want to read
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, see, that's what I was saying right here, that the legislative body of the municipality shall warn a meeting, and this is talking of the town meeting and local election, by posting a warning and notice in at least 2 public places in the municipality and in or near the town clerk's office, not less than 30 days or more than 40 before the meeting, and then go on and on and on, then goes down to the one you're talking about.
And and I have to say, I've found Vermont law, if you go look it up, sometimes you have to go to so many different
I know.
places to get everything together. And the Secretary of State has put together a whole new book on election law. And you can go online and print it out, and that's where you see everything in context. So if you wanna look up warning and you wanna know everything in the law that says about the warning, they have it all in context now, okay? So that's where
I
I
will
got,
look.
that's
I
where I
will
got
look
this
that.
from. So it's not just to comply with that one section, it's all these sections. And there were things on the warning that, I think you might not realize, the seat that was missing for the school board, should have been on there too. If you look under Article 2, I've got the warning was printed in the town report.
Yeah.
And if you look under Article 2, where they list the officers for the school, the reelection of the school seats,
Yep.
there should have been the Union School Director 3-year seat there, and it wasn't there. So that's another omission. And,
Why would that be there? Can you explain that?
well, it was a
Because I-
mistake on a lot of people's parts. He was up for election this year.
Right.
He didn't realize it.
Susan didn't
Yeah.
realize
So
it.
because he
yeah.
didn't realize it, Susan didn't realize it, and then I guess Tim didn't realize it, and so all the pieces just didn't come
But-
together.
So Susan,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
Susan
yeah,
helped me
I
come up
see.
with that section.
Yes, yes.
And then neither one of us really realized it, and like I said, he didn't. And then the warning got
That's why he
posted and
wrote,
she
he wanted
wrote
to
in
write
afterwards.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense now, yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep.
So anyway, all this to say is that there's a remedy in the law for it that's really easy.
Yes.
So why not just do it,
Yeah, that's what I was, I told Mike earlier that, I mean, I think it's not admitting any wrong. It's, what it is I'd like to pull the town together and go on from this day and stop going backwards all the time. And if that's what it takes to move us forward,
Well, we
I
all
think
make
so.
mistakes.
Absolutely.
And nobody's perfect.
Right, and that,
And
I
that's
mean,
why
that's
there's
a
a
big
law
one.
in here to take care of errors and omissions.
Yeah.
That's what it says, when
Yeah.
there's errors and omissions, you just.
Yes, and you can't, and I think that it should be also, I skimmed through this, but, the new one, I mean, and, it should be so noted that this is, it'll take 5 minutes of the people's, vote to validate the, 15 town meeting. But no business can be transpired. It's just to validate it.
It says right in that statute that you're just ratifying, readopting, and confirming all town and school business that took place at the 2015 town meeting.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing.
Yeah. No, I don't like it, I'll tell you that, I don't, but I think that, I'd rather do that and move forward and instead of continue a fight.
Well, it makes it legal this way.
And you're right, and if there was any mistake that ever could come back at us,
So did
I
the
would rather.
Secretary of State tell you that there was a problem with this, or he said no?
He said no, as long as
And
I.
the town attorney said no problem.
No,
Right.
there was no problem. He said that what we did was totally legal. But the thing is that I did not tell the Secretary of State that there was an omission here. I did tell him that, just exactly how it happened. We all went down to Patty's office to sign it. 3 school board members signed it. Kat took it.
I'm the unidentified person.
Yes,
I posted it.
Yeah, that guy that in the middle of the night went out there and
Yeah, no,
stuck
it
it
was
up.
posted on the Friday, that Friday.
That was a joke, Nancy, laugh, please, okay?
Didn't have a name, so I put unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was me.
It was her. But I didn't explain to him the omission here, and, that is, that's not good.
Well, and
Um,
I'd like to say too, there's a difference of opinion about, what you heard and what Susan
Right.
heard. And if
But-
Susan was here, she would tell you that she spoke to the Secretary of
Yes,
State.
I know, and he told me that today.
He told her something different than he told you, so.
Well, you're gonna get 2 different things, because she's gonna explain how she sees it, and I'm gonna explain how I saw it, so it's gonna be 2 different answers. But he did say today that, it might be, just do it, and then move forward.
So how much extra money is this special town meeting gonna cost the town?
It shouldn't
Nothing?
cost the
We're
town
gonna do it
anything.
here.
Because we'll do it right here.
So this is in the
We can't,
cafeteria.
no.
This is
We-
just like when we did the
Right,
town
we
plan,
can't,
you know,
I would hope that we don't get 400 people, but if we get 400 people, then we're gonna have to move down to the thing. It's just a simple thing, and I think that it should be, a flyer or something put out, or something out that, the people know.
You have to warn it. like a
Yes,
regular-
we have to warn it.
So you have to put it in the paper
It has to
again.
go, in the paper, it has to be just like you would warn, this meeting. I'll get you, Phyllis, I see you, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ignore you. It has to be within, you have to give 30 days notice, so that people have 30 days to, whatever I'm trying to say. And then we could have it right here, and it'd take 5 minutes to, have a town vote. It's a town vote, it's not us, it's not the select board. Go ahead, Phyllis.
Just clarification, I think, I'm not really sure on what, the school knows that they have an issue too. So I'm not sure where they're at. Have they already set a date
Yeah,
for theirs?
they put April 13th for a meeting.
So, we need to communicate with them so that it's one meeting, not a school one.
That's a good idea, I did not know they
Well, you
had.
have to include them because it's.
Yes,
all-
of course, I would have called them.
It's for the same issue, but they realized that it wasn't in there, so they've already acted upon it?
Yes, because also with the one that Susan put up, it was only 2 signatures of the school board. And, so that's an error on her part, so I think it's all the way around
Well,
that.
the one in the town report doesn't have any school board signature.
It has them on separate pages. There are.
Yeah, that's three. They're just on separate pages. Where is it, Kat, that it's on a separate page?
It's right after the town one. You'll see it,
Yeah, the one on
see
the
it.
back doesn't.
see right here, page 75, 74, and 75.
Yeah.
And probably what would be good is if we all learn from this for the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, if you look at the town moderator's job, and you look at the town select board's job, and you look at the school board's job, you guys should all be communicating together about the warning before it's actually put out, because it has school board information on it, it has select board information on it.
Well, this year, you gotta realize that they had until, I believe it was Monday or Tuesday, it was Tuesday, 5:00.
Who had until Tuesday?
It was the 26th.
It was
They
the
had
26th.
26th. People had until the 5:00 on the 26th to turn in any petitions that they had. So there's the 26th. And then we met the next day, which was the 27th. And then she took the warning down there so we could get in to sign, and it wasn't signed for a couple of days. Then Kat came down and grabbed it on Friday and got it posted.
Because I
So
thought
that-
the due date was February 3rd, so I
Right.
wanted to make sure that
That it got on there.
it got up.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think sometimes we, with the state and how they set those timelines, and, you have until such and such a day to get this in or that in. I think this one was a close race to get it in on time. Because sometimes, you think about it, the town meeting isn't till the 6th and the 7th, or the 5th and the 6th. And if it's the 26th that they have to get their petitions in, you got plenty of time, you see. But this one was kind of like short. But it's up to the board. So, Jeff?
What?
What's your thoughts?
I'll pass.
I concur with you. It's just, there's so much confusion that if we just have a simple meeting to ratify what happened, it'll take 5 minutes and we're in the clear.
Right.
I agree with Mike.
So then who's gonna put that in a motion?
Do we need a date?
Well, why don't we try, how about if, one of us, I don't care who, gets a hold of the, school board, and we try to do it with them.
But they've already warned theirs.
Then we'd have to hurry up and warn ours.
Give enough day.
Oh, wait a minute, it's the 16th, we don't have enough time. We don't have
13th, I
time.
think.
It was the 13th, you said.
Today's the 16th, but
Yeah.
we don't have enough
You don't have
time,
enough
so we
time to warn
can't. It has to be 30 days.
But it was just this weekend that,
Yeah, but it's gonna take 2 days anyway, to even get it
Get
under legal
signatures.
notices, well,
Right, but
legal
they
notices in the
warned it.
paper.
Legal notice in the
I know,
paper.
but they warned it on Saturday, didn't they?
Yes, in Saturday's paper.
Well, then,
Saturday was the 14th, that was too late.
I forgot the date it's gonna.
It says, I have it right
well, they
here.
probably posted it, or got a hold of them on Thursday or Friday. Remember, the reformer doesn't get it in, that day, or sometimes the next day. It might take a couple of days before they put it in, but, I bet you they posted it in plenty of time.
Yeah, I
But
think-
we don't have plenty of time.
I have a copy of it, and it looks like it was done back on March 11th.
I'm gonna take a question from the audience.
I understand all that you're saying, Chris, but you have already stated that your attorney said there was nothing wrong. And as Jeff said, it's been stated, you can reiterate it and have it done and over with, and you're not costing the town any extra money.
I agree.
And if the attorney was here, I would debate him.
We know that too. Did you put that in the motion? Oh, we gotta come up with a date. So, we're not meeting again until the 6th. It's the 16th.
The second meeting in April.
Yeah, how about that? And we can have it here, and we can have it, at 6 o'clock and start our meeting at 6:30. How's that sound?
I didn't catch the date.
April 20th? Is that, Kat, I can't see it from here, can you?
Yes, that is it.
4/20.
Yeah.
We'll put out a legal notice pronto. That, and I don't have the wording because.
You need, I was gonna say, we need the warning and it needs to be signed by all of you.
Yeah, I'll go around door to door to get people's signatures, or they can come to my house, doesn't matter. Emily likes coming to my house because she likes getting, kissed in the face by that shepherd.
And it sounds like there's some confusion about the special town meeting. It's not a town meeting per se.
No.
It's just an addition to a select board meeting that we're just gonna, like, when we presented the town plan, here's the town plan, does anybody have any questions? We can talk about it, and then you just vote.
It's like a public forum.
Yes.
But it is a town meeting. No, you get to get that, it really is a town meeting. It is a meeting of the people. Janet?
I don't understand why there's gonna be discussion about it again. That's where we're confused.
You're right, there isn't discussion.
There's no discussion.
It's
There
just
is no
the
No discussion.
ratification.
Nothing can be changed.
Nothing can be changed.
Just
And
ratifying
we're
that.
just
Yes.
ratifying to make everything okay, because there has been mistakes on both sides. I'm not gonna admit that I did anything wrong. I never do anything wrong, so I'm not gonna admit to that. And, no, I'm serious, I'm kidding. But no, what happened, I'll get you in a minute, Dale. What happens is, like he said, it's similar to a select board meeting, however, it is a town meeting. And it is the people that will ratify what happened on, March 3rd or 2nd, whichever, and, 2nd and 3rd. And, that's it, you cannot change anything that was voted on, you can't take away, you can't give in.
And we can't discuss, we're not
You
gonna
cannot discuss anything.
Okay.
It's just to ratify the town meeting. That was held on March 2nd.
It's
and
more
3rd,
along the
period.
lines to acknowledge that there were errors
Errors.
or admissions,
Or
and we just
omissions.
wanna ratify what happened.
I
Yep.
just wanted to make sure we weren't gonna go through discussion.
No.
Nope,
all over again.
No,
no.
Thanks.
yep. I don't think I would even, I would have to stand by the attorney then, if it was that, because I don't want our people to have to keep going back and vote and vote and vote and vote over and over and over again. That would cost the town some money, I think. But no,
We're gonna
it's,
have to have this ready and signed in 2 days.
in 2 days, it'll get done. I promise, I'll go door to door.
Yeah, 'cause, Barbara Reformer will need time to put it into the legal notices.
Yep,
And they need at least 2 days.
yep, not a problem.
How many?
But we haven't voted on it yet.
Just a question, clarification. How many townspeople, voters, registered voters need to be here? What's the minimum? Is there a minimum?
There is no minimum.
So if
It's
one of
ju-
us showed up, that's it?
That's exactly right.
Oh, wow.
But you'll have 5
Can
of
I have
us
an
at
absentee
least.
ballot, since I won't be here?
You'll have, no,
Well, come on.
no, it doesn't work that way.
I-
Dale?
I think that we all agree there's gonna be no discussion, no changing anything, but I think the discussion will ensue is why we're having it. So my point in saying all of that is I think a well-crafted, very detailed explanation, and it doesn't have to go into a lot of language, hand out to people as they come through the door, this is why we're meeting, this is what the focus of this town meeting is all about.
I agree.
Will save a lot of discussion.
Yes.
We don't wanna have.
Yes, yep.
So
I think
people
that's a
just
good
clearly
idea.
understand. It's a procedural, to memorialize exactly what took place before, to say, end of discussion.
Yes, I agree. I absolutely agree.
If you can get it to me before the end of the month, I'll put it in the newsletter.
Okay. Katrina, you have their email, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And you and I can get together maybe tomorrow afternoon?
If you look at the actual validation of municipal meeting statute, it tells you right in the middle how to word it,
Okay.
if you wanna know how to word it.
Oh, good. That will help.
Mhm.
That may need to be.
Well, and possibly to extend an olive branch, how about you help me, write up something? Word it? Yeah, oh, sure. You wanted me to ask it, didn't you?
No.
I think you did.
It might be too wordy if I do it.
Well, I don't want you to be wordy, okay?
No, 'cause it's gotta go,
Just
we
'cause
get
it's-
charged for
yes.
the legal notices.
Okay?
Sure.
I appreciate it. All right, so, did we have a motion?
No, not yet.
No, we didn't. So, somebody go ahead and make us a motion.
I move that we warn a special town meeting to acknowledge the errors or any errors or omissions that were made regarding the 2015 town meeting warning and vote on ratifying, readopting, and confirming all town and school business that took place at the 2015 Vernon Town meeting prior to our meeting on April 20th at 6 PM in the Select Board meeting room.
Second.
Motion's been made, and I'm not repeating that. Do you have it, Kat?
I'll get it off the DVD.
Okay. That was pretty lengthy. Good thing I didn't ask you to write it up.
Well, it's to warn a special town meeting
Right.
to acknowledge the
I
errors and
got it.
omissions.
Thank you.
I have it
Tried
right
to
here.
help you, I wrote it.
Yeah,
She wrote it.
I know. Anyway, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
Ayes have it. One nay. We go forward. Okay, now,
Susan thanks you.
I'm sure she will. Thank you. All right, so, and now comes the public comments. Now, remember, this is agenda items only.
Well, it was sort of on the agenda because you hit on some of the appointments, but I wonder when are you actually going to do some of the other appointments?
Yeah, we,
Like, one that you didn't do was the health officer. and
yes,
know that
I
you
received an email from
an email
Heather.
about that.
Yeah, we don't do those right off. It's about 30 days, sometimes, up to 60 days before we reappoint on
We have to
them.
Because last year you did it at this time of the year, that's.
Yes, we always do it
Yeah.
this time of the year, but like I said, it's 30 to 60 days after town meeting, because it's a big write-up that we have to do and get the list down. She has to send out those that are already on and appointed, have the first choice to stay on. And those that, and if they don't want to, then we need to know if they're not gonna be on and stuff like that before we go any further. Takes a while. But yes, I do have that.
Does that include the paid positions also?
No, we just did the paid positions.
But the health officers are paid.
They're a stipend. They're not paid a salary. They're a stipend. I know they're still paid, but it's just a stipend. And, we already have two anyway. Whether they get reappointed or not, that's up to the board, but we've never not done the same people, so. But it's a discussion that the board have to have. I mean, unless somebody got something to say, I mean, I didn't bring it up because we're not talking about it, but we did receive a, I don't know, did the rest of the
Letter
board
of
get it?
interest.
A letter of interest from Heather?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
For a deputy, health officer. The position now is held by, Annette Royden. But we will discuss it when we get there. I mean, she puts a book together for us with all the names, all those that she has, sent out and requested, either, yes, I'm staying, or no, I'm not, or, Takes a little bit.
I think there should be some accounting for those officers.
Yes, I know, the auditors thought so as well.
I know, I
Yep.
meant.
It's a
brought it up
stipend
another
and,
time, They said, well, it's so embarrassing, but the previous officers over the years have, I know what they're talking about, is embarrassing situations, but all they need to say is a complaint at a rental, apartment or whatever. They don't have to go into the details, which half the town do anyway.
Mhm.
So I do think they should account for, $6,000 and 3,000 is a sizable amount.
It's not that much.
Or two, no, it's three, it
It's-
used to be, I think.
Yeah, it was up there before,
Two and
yeah.
three
It's
to-
2 and 15.
Oh, okay. But even so.
It might be
there should some
25, I don't know.
accounting.
It's 2, yeah. Anything else? Okay, correspondence. Somewhere I do have some. Okay. I got, spring auditors workshop and select board. I mean, we don't need for me, auditor, but there's a select board institute in case anybody's interested in that, signing up for that.
No, it might be.
This Saturday, right?
Yeah, it is Saturday.
Be in Bennington.
There's always one in April, which is a good one, possibly for you.
I'd love to go, but I can't this weekend.
What is that one, Jeff? that-
TOECs,
Yes,
TOECs.
yes.
There's 4 different locations this year.
Wow.
I just got,
I just don't like going because they're so far away. They're in Montpelier now and stuff.
Rutland and Fairleigh, Killington.
Killington was the last one. And that's the one I picked you up and we went off we didn't go we won't tell
Went
how
the
I
wrong
drove, will
way.
you? My first impression to him was I took down his fence in his driveway first.
That was you?
Yes, that was me. And I said, "You sure you want to ride with me?" "Oh, sure." And then we go past the first exit. I back up. He didn't want to ride with me again after
Note
that.
to Emily, don't ride
Needless
with
to say. Oh, the stories I could tell right about. Anyway, and then I got Efficiency Vermont. Now I'm thinking maybe that's something that we might want to put on later on the agenda, perhaps.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's no cost to your municipality.
No,
That's what it says.
that's what it says. So that's right up your alley.
Sure. No tax money.
And I really don't even know what this is. Fraternal Area Prevention Coalition.
Yeah, they all got them in their
You
packages.
all got them, okay.
Yeah, it's just
So
correspondence that came in
Yeah,
along
that's
with,
just something to read. And
Emerald
then-
ash borer.
Then we have a picture of a beetle.
it's an emerald ash borer.
Oh, never mind. Never mind, I won't go there. I think I'll leave
Can I see
that,
that, Emily?
that
Is that
story
allowed?
out.
Thank you.
Let's see, this is a workshop, but this is for more, you got it, okay. And is that, that's the 18th, that's in a couple of days. And it's only until noon, so they're not serving lunch. I don't wanna go.
It says refreshments will be served.
Does it say refreshments? Well, maybe we might consider that, right? And that's all I have. Where's Mike Farr? Mike, you're up next.
Yeah, I wanted to reach back to the reappraisal item. I was thinking about the energy talks, the long-term talks, and I wondered if that tax committee had been appointed and if you'd started those talks yet, or is that still upcoming?
We have not started those talks yet. The tax committee has a couple of members, and we're still reaching out for, more members, but it has not been discussed yet.
I wanted to jump ahead then to, or I guess a little back even further to the start of the meeting where you talked about some of the changes with the policies, the agenda, things like that. Could you just talk a little bit more about anybody, I guess, or Chris? What do you hope that accomplishes, or
I'd rather have all of us speak, if you don't mind.
whatever you prefer?
Okay, we all have opinions, so. Jeff?
No opinion.
No opinion. Mike?
I think the new procedures will just enable better communications amongst the elected officials, the townspeople, the town employees, and the other elected town officials, such as the town clerk and the treasurer. and, you know, those groups, just to establish more open communication lines.
Emily?
Yeah, no comment.
What Mike said was pretty good.
Yeah, Jeff said what Mike said.
Last thing, I guess I didn't realize the cruiser bid stuff had sort of fallen apart again. I realized there was some difficulty at the beginning, but it seems like there's also been, I don't know, a lack of interest. To what do you attribute how difficult it's been to get rid of these vehicles?
I really don't know. It could be the economy, but I wouldn't answer that question. I would have no idea. Does anybody else got an opinion on why it's taken
My
a
sense
toll?
is that it's really hard to, put out police cruisers in general for bids.
You think it's
Because of the wear and tear that they go through. It's a little bit different
I
than some
probably
other
wouldn't-
kind of vehicles that you put
I
out.
probably wouldn't use the words "get rid of."
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. And
We
besides
could
that,
get rid of them already by now, if we
yeah,
wanted to.
and besides that an Interceptor is brand new. So that has not much wear and tear on it, you know, but the other ones, like Kat said, certainly have, I mean, they've been around for a while.
But did I hear correctly that the Charger has been sold? Is that right?
Yes,
And that was for the $2,100 or something?
$2,100.
Can I ask for a clarification from the board on, do you want that, stripped of all equipment? The Charger? He's hoping that you don't, but.
But he's a private citizen, is he not? He's not in the, he's
He's
not
a
an
private
officer?
He's not.
Then I would strip the car. We cannot sell to, private citizen,
I let Todd know that
police
then.
equipment.
I thought they were stripped.
Not all,
No,
they
not all
weren't
of
done
them.
at the time.
Because
just
that's,
as we sold
that
them.
could be a very dangerous
We
thing.
stripped them.
Not
Yeah,
saying that the
didn't-
guy's dangerous, I'm just
Didn't
saying.
Jesse volunteer?
Don't quote me on that one.
Yeah, Todd asked me today, that's why I was asking for clarification.
Yeah. Anything else, Mike?
That's it, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we're over. I would entertain a motion to adjourn if you so
I
choose.
move that we adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?